What you're looking at behind me is the world's most formidable and expansive prison. This mega facility holds up to 40,000 inmates, some of the most dangerous individuals you can imagine.
What's your name? My name is Ernesto Hernando Vasquez. How did you end up here? I'm here for 2 murders.
Well, I love that. If we could take some of our 20-time wise guys that push people into subways and that hit people over the back of the head and that purposely run people over.
We're about to
cars,
witness the inner workings of this fortress. Welcome to CECOT, the world's largest prison by capacity, located in El Salvador. Built to house the country's highest-profile criminals, anyone sent here is never expected to walk free. There is no escape.
This is an active member of MS-13 and has been sentenced to 867 years in prison.
El Salvador is a small nation of 6 million, yet it needed this vast penitentiary because violent gangs once ran rampant. In March 2022, President Nayib Bukele launched a sweeping crackdown. Over the next 16 months, authorities arrested more than 70,000 people, about 2% of all adults. On coordinated night raids, buses lined up and carried thousands of gang members to CECOT. Heads bowed, they looked like a single mass under guard. None dared to resist. Their lives changed forever in a single day. Built in 2022, CECOT consists of 8 separate modules sprawling across 410 acres. Each pair of modules is enclosed by dual 3-meter-high walls topped with razor wire. Around the entire complex stands a 9-meter wall armed with a 3-meter electric fence charged at 15,000 volts. Electronic jammers kill all signals within 2 kilometers, cutting off communication. Over 600 soldiers guard the perimeter alone. We surrender every item: wallet, phone, keys, leaving only cameras and microphones. Guards wear masks. Their identities must stay secret, or gangs will target them in nearby towns. The prison sits on its own isolated infrastructure: power, water, sewage, capable of operating independently for a week. Even if the electricity cuts out, backup generators and reservoirs keep everything running. We step off the bus into the module zone, where 1,000 staff keep the country safe inside CECOT's walls. Imagine an inmate somehow vanishing the bus alarms, and you'd trigger every guard along this chain of security rings. Escape here is unthinkable. Ahead lies the 8-module complex. Each module contains 32 cells. Every cell normally holds 80 prisoners, though it can be squeezed up to 150. At present, they enjoy only half a square meter each. No personal space, no courtyards. None will ever taste daylight again. The only ones entering or leaving are staff and occasionally approved media like ourselves. If you glimpse their faces, you'll see hollow eyes and robotic expressions, soulless from endless monotony. Each cell's corner holds 2 filthy toilets. The same corner serves as the single shower area. Inmates use shared plastic dippers from a single basin. There's no running water, only a blue barrel that supplies drinking water. Sleeping quarters consist of 4 tiered metal bunks, no mattresses, no pillows. A white sheet, uniform, socks, slippers, and a towel are the total of their belongings. Stacked bunk beds resemble warehouse racks, trapping each man inside the same cramped quarters. Every 2 weeks, officers shave them, removing beards and long hair. For hygiene, yes, but also to prevent concealment of smuggled items. Now, we head to the registration wing, where we ourselves must unpack again. Shoes off, shirts off, each garment x-rayed and scanned. Guards peer through our pockets before we pass through the last metal detector. No exceptions. Next, the prison armory looms. In case of riots, these weapons keep order. T-65 rifles, nearly identical to civilian M16s, 12-gauge shotguns, and compact carbines designed for tight corridors. Cuffs and chains secure each new arrival, hands bound, legs shackled, minimizing risks to officers. Guards don full riot gear, helmets, face shields, neck protectors, Anti-trauma vests, shin guards, heavy shields, fully armored against homemade knives and broken glass. Because CECOT spans 410 acres, staff rely on buses to patrol the grounds. Guards point out the pebble-strewn walkways. Those stones crunch underfoot, sounding an alarm if anyone tries to slip away. Our path leads to the central tower overlooking the modules. A perimeter of 19 watchtowers ensures constant surveillance. Powerful lights blaze all night. No darkness hides anything. Inmates cover their eyes with towels if they wish to sleep, but sleep is precious and fleeting here. We enter the exercise yard, just 1 hour per week, allotted per module. Under armed guard, inmates are marched out for physical training or a preacher-led Bible study. Otherwise, they remain locked in their cells 23 hours a day, unable to move without permission. They once controlled vast territories on the streets. Now, they can barely step outside their bunks. From the elevated walkway, we peer down on a sea of white uniforms, each inmate identical to the next. Their world reduced to steel and cement, they shuffle like phantoms, fulfilling their final sentence. While most roam a 20-square-meter cell in other countries, here, their entire lives are confined to a handful of square meters. The knowledge that they will never see the sky again, that every step is monitored, every heartbeat watched, crushes any lingering hope of freedom. As the sun sets, the lights stay on, eyes never close, boundaries never soften. This is CECOT, the ultimate fortress, designed not just to contain criminals, but to erase even the thought of flight from their minds. Night falls, but the floodlights never dim. The glare stings the eyes, erasing any illusion of darkness. Below us, rows of bunks cast long shadows, each inmate haunted by the unblinking gaze of 600 perimeter sentries and 19 watchtowers. Wait, did you know someone walked out of a casino with $10 million without a single gunshot? No mask, no alarms, just one brilliant plan and the guts to pull it off. This isn't a movie, it's a real-life heist. Want to know how they did it? Watch the $10 million casino heist right after this video. Every whisper, every shift, every breath is recorded on camera. Privacy here is a myth. We return to the registration wing for routine paperwork. Two staff verify our IDs, scan our prints, then we're free to proceed. Meanwhile, inmates who once brazenly roamed the streets now spend 23 hours a day confined to cells no larger than closets. Their world reduced to steel bars, concrete walls, and razor wire. During the crackdown, over 70,000 suspected gang members were herded through these gates. Arrests happened in waves, families dragged from homes, street corners engulfed by baton-wielding police. Each mass transfer was executed at night, fleet of buses, lights off, engines silent. Heads bowed, they boarded in handcuffs, chains biting their wrists and ankles. They left behind everything: money, phones, even wedding rings. In the heart of CECOT, we stand before the chapel where weekly services grant a fleeting respite. Under armed guard, preachers deliver sermons from tattered Bibles. For a single hour, inmates stretch their legs, breathe fresh air, attempt prayer or calisthenics. The metal yellows under fluorescent tubes as they push up, squat, lunge, reminders of the bodies they once used to commit violence. Our footsteps echo in the hallways. Inmates peer through cell bars, faces gaunt, eyes hollow. When we point camera lenses their way, they press forward, desperate for contact, but guards snap orders. Step back. No communication. Any attempt to speak across the bars risks punishment, isolation, a stint in a cell even smaller than the modules, where darkness and silence assault the mind. Beyond the chapel lies the isolation wing. This is the last resort for rule breakers, solitary confinement, up to 15 days. Cells here are sealed pods with a tiny airflow slot and a sliver of daylight through a high window. Each prisoner survives on a metal tray slid through a slot. Rice, beans, a watery broth. The same bin supplies both drinking water and waste disposal. The psychological toll is brutal. Sensory deprivation, the loss of all human contact. Guards call it the final break. Walking back through the central yard, we pass tattooed men whose bodies bear coded maps of allegiance: M-13, 18, 666, spider webs, teardrops. Each mark proclaims identity and rank, inscribed in skin for life. Tattoos of clowns, devils, and barbed crosses attest to the horrors these men have inflicted. A teardrop under the eye means a life taken. Multiple teardrops mean countless lives extinguished. A guard points to a row of cells. Inside those, we have the most dangerous, leaders of MS-13, Barrio 18, once kings of El Salvador's slums. Now they share steel with rivals. Outside, they tore each other apart. Here, they coexist under the state's iron will. With that, Block 3 closes on the endless hum of CECOT's lights, the ceaseless vigil of armored guards, and the silent, watchful inmates, souls trapped behind concrete walls, razor fences, and electric nightmares. El Salvador's experiment in mass incarceration remains controversial. Critics call it cruel and costly. Supporters say it ended the bloodshed that once claimed over 100 lives per 100,000 people. By 2023, the homicide rate plunged to 2.4 per 100,000, making El Salvador one of the safest countries globally. But at what cost? Some innocents were caught up in the dragnet. Families still seek their loved ones, confused by silence and sealed records. Human rights groups warn this iron fist may breed resentment and future unrest. Others celebrate the return of peace. Bars reopen, tourism booms, children play in parks. As I step into the morning traffic, sun blazing overhead, I realize CECOT does more than lock criminals away. It locks memories, promises, and nightmares behind steel and wire. Surrounded by freedom, I can't shake the faces I saw. Hungry eyes behind blankets, hardened leaders in shabby clothes, men condemned to a life without horizon. Outside, El Salvador's streets pulse with life and laughter. Inside, CECOT's corridors echo only with barred doors, strobe lights, and the unending clang of locks. Two worlds divided by a razor wire wall, each unimaginable to the other.